Good morning, students. So, in this lecture, we will continue with the story of the old man and the sea. So, the old man is alone in the sea, and there is nothing in the environment around the old man to warn him of danger. There are clouds in the sky and a large breeze that will probably last for whole night. Santiago is totally unprepared for the appearance of the sharks. The first shark come about an hour after he has begun his homeward journey. They then arrive in such a rapid succession that the old man has no control, even though he battles desperately to save his fish. अब शार्क्स का हमला होना शुरू हो गया है. जो खून मछली के शरीर से निकला था उसका पीछा करते हुए शार्क्स चली आई हैं. And the sharks are attracted by the blood of the giant fish and come to the surface from the depth of the sea. They arrive with breakneck speed and without warning. The fish to arrive is a huge mako shark, the fastest ship in the sea. Everything about him is beautiful except his jaws, which contains 8 rows of slanted, razor-sharp teeth shaped like a man's finger. He is clearly the master of the sea, above the devour of any enemy. When Santiago sees the first shark, he doesn't lose heart. With the characteristic precision, he prepares his harpoon, make the rope fast, and never taking his eye off to the new enemy. And when the shark attack on the fish with determination, Santiago strike the shark between its eyes and it dies after biting nearly 40 pounds of the giant fish and stealing the harpoon and the rope. When the mako shark bites into the fish, it starts bleeding once again. The old man knows that now more sharks will come and attack the fish. He accepts this fact and this natural phenomena, and without getting anger, he continues his journey towards home. However, when he looks at the beautiful giant marlin, now partially mutilated, he feels as though himself is being destroyed. His only satisfaction comes in having killed the mako shark. उसको खुशी होती है कि उसने mako shark को मार दिया है. वो थोड़ा दुखी होता है क्योंकि उसने देखा है कि जिस मछली को वो काफ़ी मेहनत के बाद में पकड़ पाया था उसका 40 पाउंड है, वो mako shark खा चुकी है. For moments, Santiago lets negative thoughts enter in his mind as he wishes that the giant fish were only a dream and that he were alone, he were at home in his hut. Immediately he pulls himself out of his misery, saying that a man is not made to be defeated. He cannot be destroyed, but not defeated. He determines himself that he can be destroyed, but he cannot be defeated. Okay, he knows his own choice to continue his journey towards home and to take everything as it is come his way. With his usual cheerful optimism, he tells himself that with every minute he is closer to home. He also thinks he will be able to sail faster, for the giant fish now weighs 40 pounds less. Never wanting to be unprepared, Santiago laces his knife to the butt of one of his oars. It will be his weapon against the next shark. He knows he cannot win the battle of that. His fish is doomed, but he will himself to have hope, believing that hopelessness is a sin. That's why he wants to fight against the sharks. When he kills the shark, the old man's thought turned to the concept of sin. To kill a living being is a sin, but he has killed the fish to keep himself alive and feed many people. He accepts that he is born to be a fisherman and the fishes are born to be fish. His role is to kill them in order to sustain life. Even fishes kill other fish to feed themselves and stay alive. A nagging doubt, however, enters his mind as he wonders if he has killed the fish merely out of pride, and yet he knows that he loved the fish when it was alive and also after it is dead. By contrast, Santiago has enjoyed killing the shark, which he sees as an enemy of man and the sea. He resents that the shark have eaten the meat of his noble fish, which he thought was even too good for humans. Ironically, now that the shark have mutilated the marlin's beauty, Santiago pulls a little meat from the fish where the shark had cut it open, open and chews it. He noticed its form, juicy texture, and good taste. It is worth defeating at any cost. For the next 2 hours, the old man sailed uneventfully. Then he notices two sharks are heading towards him. As the shark again steadily on him, he curses them as hateful, bad-smelling scavenger who kills mindlessly. He takes his makeshift weapon and waits for the shark to come near enough to be killed. The old man drives the knife into the brain of the first shark and then into his eyes. That shark grabs a large chunk of fish meat and goes down into the sea to die. Another shark is already grinning away at the fish. Santiago strikes at it but misses. He continues punching the shark and finally hits on its brain. It too sinks down dead into the sea. The old man realizes that together the shark have taken away a quarter of the best meat of the fish. He apologized to the fish for having brought it to this end and chastised himself for coming out so far into the sea. Santiago recovers from the strain of fighting the sharks and prepares himself for the next round. He wishes he had a stone to sharpen the knife, but then he realizes that he reminds himself that this is no time to think of what he doesn't have. He must use all of his resources to stay alive. It is painful for Santiago for a minute now for other sharks to be attracted by the blood. When a shovel-nosed shark hits the giant fish, the old man drives the knife into its brain. However, the shark jerks back and the knife blade is snapped. Now, Santiago has only his gift to oars, the tailor, and short glove to use as a weapon. But he is still refused to give up fighting. Santiago, both physically and emotionally exhausted, can only hope that he soon find land. Just before sunset, two Galeno shark attack the fish. Santiago holds the oar high up in his right hand and aims to the shark on the part of its nose and straight across the head. With all his might, he whackled on shark and hears a bone break with a snap. He also hits the second shark, who is hurt badly enough to turn the leaf. And the old man feels bad that he is no longer strong enough to kill a shark by clumping to the death. But he knows that he has done his best and he has succeeded in driving away two more enemies, preventing them from eating any more of his prize. Santiago, however, refused to look at the fish, knowing that it is now half of its original size. Instead, he scratches his harpoon, hoping to see a glow from the light of Havana to guide him back to his village. Knowing, knowing that he has been gone for 3 days, Santiago hopes that nobody is worrying about him. He feels a little sorry about the boy that he is worried about him. He also apologizes the giant creature that tools claiming him half fish. Santiago regrets that both of them seem destined to ruin, but he feels proud that they both have put up a brave fight with the sharks. The old man, however, is worried about how he can continue to defeat the two of them without a weapon, but with characteristic grief, he assures himself that he will fight the shark until he dies and hopes that he will arrive with half the fish intact. अब वो डिटरमाइंड है कि मुझे कम से कम आधी मछली तो लेके ही जानी है. But on the way to the shore, unfortunately, unfortunately, he tries to use sharp edge of the broken tailor as a spear, but it is losing battle. He keep trying and keep fighting with the sharks which come to in the way of Santiago. And इस दौरान उसके बहुत सारी जो चीज़ें थी अधिकांश चीज़ें अब चली गई हैं और पूरी की पूरी मछली खाई जा चुकी है. The sharks eaten the giant fish is entirely. When only the skeleton is left, the sharks disappear. The old man feels totally exhausted as the cold of the night seeps into his limbs. He questions why he has been beaten and decide it is simply because he went out too far. When he feels a strange coppery taste in his mouth, he spits into the ocean and challenges the shark to eat his blood too. He then goes into the stern of the boat and concentrate on steering towards home. He is thankful that his skiff has not been damaged except for the tiller, which can be easily replaced. And finally, Santiago reaches the harbor of his village. Santiago notices that the lights of the terrace restaurant are out, that everyone is in bed. He is still totally alone, with no one is to help him to pull his boat and to carry his equipments. After tying the boat, spreading the mast, and furling the sail, he starts to climb towards home, carrying the mast. He suddenly realizes that he has tired beyond belief. He looks back at the huge skeleton of the fish, trying to see if it is a real experience or a nightmare. He spies the white necked line of the backbone of the giant marlin and the dark mass of its head. The last 3 days are not just a nightmare, he realized then. When the mast crosses his shoulders, Santiago falls down in exhaustion. It's again an image of Christ weighed down his cross and almost too tired from the woes of the world to move forward. Okay. And finally, he went inside his hut and fell asleep. And when he is asleep, he is compared with Christ. He is compared with Christ. When he sleep, he puts his arms straight, and the writer compares that it is another image of Christ, this time on the cross. Okay, so the next morning, I think it is enough for this lecture. We will continue in next lecture. Thank you.